Uh, we're going to concentrate just on one subject today. It is the instruction phase of all of this. And that being said, it's the most important um, of any of the series of classes that we do. The instructional portion is the most important. And we're going to take our time in synthesizing all of the knowledge and the information that we shared with you into a form that we all can utilize and use. The name of this particular series is going to be Drawing the Bow and Shooting the Arrow. Drawing the bow and shooting the arrow. Excuse me, skillfully commanding, directing, casting the divine power of the Yoni, the divine feminine energy. Drawing the bow and shooting the arrow. Skillfully commanding, directing, casting the divine power of the Yoni, the divine feminine energy. This is going to be the focus going forward here, because this is the absolute focus relative to ascension and resurrection. This is the way that our ancestors set this thing up. And they set it up with such brilliance in terms of simplicity. Our divine holistic perception will allow us, gives us the potential to see this thing simplistically and plainly. What is going to complicate it, as always, is dualism, which is the main feature and the main goal and purpose of the scientific social engineering, that perceptual engineering that we have all been subject to and affected by. So I showed you yesterday the two symbols, and the two symbols, bear with me, that we want to focus on is this one here, what we call the pointed oval, all right, and this one here, which is the diamond shape. This and this, okay? These two, because these are the ones that our ancestors, the symbols that our ancestors used, and that's this one and this one, as a simple instruction method. So when you take half of the one, and we'll do it like this, the pointed oval, it forms a bow, the symbol of a bow. And this is the bow in the sky that is referred to, that symbol in Genesis. I'm going to prove it. So the name of this particular class, Drawing the Bow. When you draw the bow, it looks like the other half of the diamond shape here. when a person takes the hand to draw the bow, correct? And you can imagine the arrow in the middle. This has tremendous implication all throughout the scriptures, all throughout the scriptures. And we're going to trace it. Family, it's hidden. It's hidden. And there's no way that you could have seen it, that we could have observed it under the influence of dualism. This takes a holistic perspective. I'm getting echo from someone's mic there. Uh, Possibly the volume is turned up too high. So we want to take a look at these two symbols, all right? Very important. And these two symbols are featured in other symbolism in the narrative of the scriptures, all right? We're going to start out in First Chronicles 12, because when you synthesize all these things, you're going to find a clear set of instructions that were hidden, of ascension instructions that were hidden throughout all of the scriptures. So we start out with the basic symbol. The pointed oval was the worldwide symbol of the great mother goddess because it represented the external genitalia of the female. It not only, well, we'll just make that statement and I'll explain it as we go through step by step. I don't want to get ahead of myself. First Chronicles 12, 1 and 2. Now these are they that came to David at Ziklag, while he yet kept himself close, because of Saul, the son of Kish. Now, of course, it was a political situation according to the narrative, and David was supposed to take the throne. Saul had lost the throne. David was chosen over him, so Saul sought to kill David and to hold on to dominion. Now, again, this is a reference to the old paradigm, the tendency for the old paradigm to hold on and to hold on to its position and to not want to relinquish its position for something new coming in. So we see the framework, something new occurring, the inception of something new. And they were among the mighty men, helpers of the war, helpers to cause the passing away of the old paradigm, of the old template, of the old pattern, for the inception of the old covenant, to make room or to allow the inception of the new, the rise of the new, all right? The ascension of the new. All of this allegory is very pregnant with meaning. They were armed with bows. Here we go. Now remember, the first covenant, the symbol of the first covenant, was what?
The rainbow.
A bow, not a rainbow. Not a rainbow. We'll get to the rain aspect later. but literally in the narrative of the biblical scriptures, it says bow, correct?
Okay.
The bow in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to the rain aspect later. We just want to deal with one symbol at a time.
I got
And look, these mighty men could use both the right hand and the left.
you. Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
they were what was called ambidextrous.
That's true. Yes.
This means, family, that these individuals, in the narrative, that they were balanced,
Yes. Yes.
that they were balanced,
Mm-hmm.
and they could hurl stones and shoot arrows out of the bow with both hands.
Mm-hmm.
With both hands. Now remember, we talked about the corpus callosum, and we talked about attaining that central position.
Yes.
All of this is connected. All of this is connected. The corpus callosum, all right? That middle pillar, that jed pillar, that middle portion
Mm-hmm.
in the brain, that the area of control, the area of dominance, the area of the seat of authority.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me now. Malkiel, I can't hardly hear you. Your mic is down real low.
Is it?
Yes. So, drawing the bow and shooting the arrow. Drawing the bow and shooting the arrow. One of the key instructions, if you're taking notes, is that you're going to have to be balanced. You're going
We'll see about this order. You too?
to have to achieve a position of balance. And we talked about this position uh, relative to power versus force. That position of neutrality, family, the position of neutrality, very important, very important first step relative to skillfully commanding, directing, and casting the divine power of the Yoni. We're going to understand how to develop this skill. So we see the um, the central figures here. It's Inanna or Ishtar or Ashtarte. All right. Inanna is symbolic of not only the divine feminine power. I'm telling you that our ancestors were brilliant in incorporating so much, downloading so much information into symbols, into words, into allegories and tales. All right. When
Mm-hmm.
we talk about Inanna, the divine feminine, I want to share something with you. This aspect of cycles is important. And what they call the cycle of Inanna, bear with me. The cycle of Inanna is the story, the actual story that is recorded, family, in 5 stages. In 5 stages. this not only uh, uh, talks about 5 different aspects of our ascent into the physical realm, the 5 stages of our descent into the physical realms, into duality, into separation, into diversity. But it also talks specifically about what the females, once we were split into male and female representations of the one. The cycle of Inanna talks about the harrowing experience and experiences, life experiences that melanated females in general would go through. All right. So I'm going to read about the cycles of Inanna. Inanna, Lady of Love and War, Queen of Heaven and Earth, Holy Priestess of Heaven and the underworld, the morning and the evening star. She represented duality totally.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all with me?
King.
Our forefathers wasn't on that dualistic stuff. When
Yes.
they gave us divine truth, it was in a holistic form. This is why it was hidden from us, because we were profoundly dualistic in our thought and in our perception. Are you all with me?
King, sure.
Much of the knowledge that we have of Mesopotamia derived from the inscribed clay tablets and fragments dating from 2000 to 1750 before the Common Era, BCE. Diane Wolkstein, a folklorist and storyteller, collaborated with Assyriologist Professor Dr. Samuel Noah Kramer by weaving many poems involving Inanna in an inspiring prose poem entitled The Cycle of Inanna, which is published by Harper and Row as Inanna, Queen of Heaven and Earth, Her Stories, Hymns from Sumer. Diane Wolkstein and Samuel Noah Kramer, 1983, Harper and Row. Fundamentally, Kramer's and Wolkstein's masterwork bring light to the 4 stages of Inanna's development. And remember, these 4 stages of development are actually the 4 stages of devolution. Are you all with me?
Mm-hmm. King, sure.
There are 4 stages of the fall. They're actually five. They're actually five. All right? But bear with me. The first stage was being young and trying to find one's own inner maturity. This is very important as we begin this portion of our journey. We're going to have to grow up, family. I've said this many times. We're going to have a very detailed discussion about sexuality, about
Yes.
reproduction,
Mm-hmm.
uh, about sex, and we cannot be blushing, and we cannot allow the programming under the low frequency field of dominance, to influence us. We have to keep our eyes open, and we have to um, hear all of this, not just endure it. As an embarrassed child, we're going to have to mature and from the inside out. All right, because this is what the resurrection is about. This is what the ascension is about. This information that we're about to discover, they never wanted us to see this. Our enemies, our so-called enemies, now they are mortally afraid of this particular portion of the information. They are mortified by it because it means, again, the end of Saul's reign, the end of the dominion of the former older paradigm. All right? So the first stage was being young and finding one's own security. That's growing up. So the first step is we're going to have to grow up, find our own inner maturity. All right? The second is the resourceful sovereign, the resourceful queen. All right? Who needs to prove herself worthy. In other words, that once we get this knowledge, we're going to have to show that we know how to use it. And it's going to require imagination, resourcefulness. All right? There are no really step by step rules and laws and statutes that we have to follow. We just have to have the basic, a command of the basic information and be imaginative. Be imaginative. Use it like you feel you need to use it. All right? The resourceful sovereign who needs to prove herself, or Inanna and Inki, the story of the relationship in the narrative of Inanna and Inki and the me. Now, we're going to discuss this me. And really, the me are just the powers, the inherent powers of the chakras, the different powers, divine powers that we have, family, in duality, in diversity. It's really just one power that has been separated into many powers. All right? Does everybody get me?
Yeah.
And in the Sumerian document, they refer to this as the may or the me. All right? And it is really appropriate because these are all the powers of me and you. All my powers, me powers. All right? And then the third, and this is what we're going to be focusing on, the beloved and the lover. The beloved and the lover united as one in the courtship of Inanna and Dumuzi. Are you all seeing this? Are you all seeing this as a process?
Can show.
Four-stage process. All right? See, these lovers are in the descent. In the descent, let's look at it this way. We became immature.
Mm-hmm.
In the descent, we lost our imagination in terms of how to demonstrate this power, how to manifest this power. Why? Because the beloved lovers that were at once unified, what? Split. Are you all seeing this?
Can.
Right. Right.
And the shaman. Now, when we think of the word shaman, we should think of the Hebrew word shemen, which means oil, the anointed one, the priest, the priesthood, the priestesses. Are you all with me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who conquers, who does what? Conquers rebirth, listen, in the descent to the underworld, to ascend with gifts from the depths. We talked about this yesterday, that we had to descend, family, to achieve our greatest power.
Mm-hmm.
To achieve our greatest power, correct?
Can.
Right.
And see, this is the story of the Christ, the shaman, the Christ, the high priest. All right? That Christ energy, that feminine energy that descended. So when we look at Ephesians 4:11, it wasn't talking about Ephesians 4:11 is talking about a man, Christ Jesus, right? That
Mm-hmm.
that descended. But let's look at it. It was actually Inanna. Ephesians 4. It says, listen, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Now it's talking about this bond, this unity, right? This harmony, this synthesis. And it says there's one body. This is our science. One spirit, even as we are called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. This is holy.
Yes.
I know that
Yes.
that our ancestors wrote this.
Mm-hmm.
One God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in all. But unto everyone is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Christ. Now, the gift of Christ is actually the gift of Sophia, that little light, that ember that is in all of us. Are you all?
Yes. Okay.
See, it never crosses the narrative. It always stays within harmony of the narrative. And we've given you all the template, the overall template to the narrative. So all of this fits within the narrative, within the template. All right. That gift is that spark, that ember that each of us have to what? We have to energize and empower and turn it into flame, turn it into the power of our ascension, the power of our creative source.
Eitai, family. This is what you were talking about here. All of us know about it because we done sing it. This little light of mine.
That's right.
I'm going to mine.
Right. That's correct. And we're not supposed to hide it under a bushel. That's what we've been doing, family.
Yes.
So we've been all given grace according to the measure of the gift of Christ, wherefore he saith, he ascended up on high. And this is the ascension. And he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now they're going to explain it. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all the heavens, that he might fill all things. In the beginning, family, at first, it wasn't he that ascended, it was she that ascended and descended. And that is Inanna, that is Sophia, right? So this is the shaman conquering rebirth. We just read about it in Ephesians 4 and 8, in the descent to the underworld, to ascend with gifts of the depths. And it says what? He led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yeah.
That's talking about Inanna. That's talking about the divine feminine. So here it is now. That the second two stages are the ones that we are focusing on. Uniting the beloved lover as one in what? Courtship and marriage. All right? And then conquering this rebirth thing. Now see?
Yes, yes.
And ascending on up high. I'm going to show you all exactly how to do it. Exactly how to do it. And the good part is I'm just going to be laying the groundwork. You get to use your imagination in formulating your own plan. I'm giving you the fundamentals. The fifth stage is Inanna, the warrior goddess. This is the one I can't wait to get to.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely, shows.
Is explored in poems such as Inanna and Ibi and the loud thundering storm. I want you all to write the word, especially the sisters, write the word down, Oya. Oya, O-Y-A.
Yes.
The African goddess of change and transformation. When you get a chance, even the brothers, Google that and look up, because that's another power that we're going to have to activate and to employ, to activate and apply. The fifth stage is Inanna, the warrior goddess, is explored in poems such as Inanna and Ibi and the loud thundering storm, and which shows the goddess in her heroic guise as the champion of the land, having ascended on high. Having ascended on high, far above principalities and powers. Are you all with me?
Yeah.
And
yes.
Far above even the heavens, that we might what? Feel all things. But we got work to do on this earth and in this earth, family, before we do that. So it says, any attempt to describe such a powerful image of the divine feminine is from the start incomplete. I can't even, family, articulate it. Our ancestors, they had to use so many methods, so many characters, so many symbols to articulate it, because Nasi, it is infinite. The power is infinite.
Yes.
Right, right.
Nevertheless, a genuine effort will be made to present a more complete picture of Inanna Ishtar in the light of cuneiform texts available to us, and my views on the mystery of Inanna, with whom I have worked long and deeply praised. Mistakes, of course, are my own. We start with the cycle of Inanna. Okay, so the Inanna and her cycle is a mirror of wholeness. Now, how can you look at wholeness in a mirror? It's imperfect. You just got to start. I got to start with capital M, capital E. I have to have knowledge of myself. All right? Knowledge of my physical self, knowledge of my emotional self, knowledge of my intellectual self, knowledge of my biology, my brain, how it works, my body. Are you all with me? So this, Nasi in his portion showing us, this energy that innervates and weakens, and at the same time energizes. He showed us this dualistic picture of ourselves. And then he went into more detail, held the mirror up and said, look, this is you under the old template, under the old pattern, the false you. So we had to what? Determine we could better focus on what? The essence of ourselves.
Yes.
So that we could have a clear picture of family of wholeness in the mirror. Are you all with me?
Gang.
Eitai, this what you just explained, this is the latter part of what we're going to bring to show the magnitude and profundity of exactly what you're saying, because it has not been even considered. It's all talking about conceptualized.
That's correct. And that's why in general we are powerless. We are powerless.
Absolutely right. All right.
Inanna,
Yeah.
her cycle is a mirror of wholeness, where sexual polarities become complementary. That,
Mm-hmm.
hey, that's the lesson right there.
That's the
Yes.
left. Right.
That's
Yes.
the lesson
Yep.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
But let us walk you through this. Her stories, her stories are a thread that involve a full range of becoming a woman, human, and divine in all levels and spheres. That's our story. That's our history, family.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how our ancestors chose to tell it.
Yeah.
It's become inverted.
Yeah.
It's become suppressed. It was edited to keep
Yeah.
us from this power, because this is the power of ascension. She is a goddess that relates well to the masculine as daughter, sister, young sovereign, lover, joyous bride, sorrowful spouse, and in the eternal return of the healed beloved, the healed,
Wow.
whole beloved.
Right.
Come on now. This is it.
Yes.
Moreover, Inanna is also the justified warrior whose standard is carried by the king in battle. She is the inspirer, the lioness of strength. Hey, that Lion Gates portal open.
Mm-hmm.
So this
Come on,
is
shows.
why,
That's
and
right.
Malkiel, this rain is pouring
Yes.
down now.
Yes. Come on, shows.
This rain is pouring down now.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching, who reshapes herself so many times, even after confronting her darkest spots twice. In the Agushaya hymn, when she reduces Saltu, her violent, unbalanced warrior double, to due proportions. So this is what we're attempting to do. We're attempting
Mm-hmm.
to rectify and to join these complementary polarities, sexual polarity. The wedding, the wedding at Cana, family, the wedding
Mm-hmm.
feast at Cana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in Inanna Shukaletuda, when the young goddess was raped, listen, she was abused sexually
Mm-hmm.
by a coward gardener and resurfaced healed in strength and integrity. We all got to we all got to hear that portion. We all got to
Yes.
activate that power.
Yes.
About that.
Now, as well as lawgiver. This is the one I want to focus on today.
Mm-hmm.
Lawgiver. Lawgiver who decides the fates of the land. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
decide your own future.
Yes. Yes, shows.
And the shaman who descends in the underworld and resurrects in the third day to the heights above. With so many attributes, it is therefore not surprising the constant bad press Inanna endured. But
Huh.
those who have dared to know her, have truly been transformed. So we're gonna embark upon this journey.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So write down the word lawgiver, lawgiver, decider of fates and fortune, lawgiver. And we're gonna get into this, family. Drawing the bow and shooting the arrow, skillfully commanding, directing, casting the divine power of the Yoni, divine feminine. We're going to start in the New Testament, family, and we're going to talk about the two Mariams. You see, I have two aspects of the goddess. All right, two
Mm-hmm.
aspects
Mm-hmm.
facing one another. But you see, they have the bow outstretched, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is half of the yoni. So when they come
Mm-hmm.
together, when they come
Yes.
together symbolically, they
Mm-hmm.
combine the two complementary uh, polarities. The two complementary polarities. This is the beginning of our power, family.
Yes.
And once we combine those things, we're able to activate the power and direct that divine power, Nasi, anywhere we want to. Like
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
like shooting
Mm-hmm.
an arrow with
Yeah.
Yes.
so the two Marys or Miriams in the New Testament are symbolic of balancing the power of consciousness. They're symbolic of balancing the powers of consciousness. You have, Nasi, the universal consciousness that is that can be accessed and is a result of everyone's consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We call that the Akasha.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We call that the Akasha. It's the sum total of all knowledge, experience, joy, pain, sorrow, rain, all of that.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That is, we would say, uh, the mind of God,
Yeah.
right? The consciousness, the divine consciousness. The other circle is empirical consciousness. It is everyone's individualized consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
In the realms of the physical, now see, in the realms of separation, in the realms
Yeah.
of duality and diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Makes sense.
when we can bring these two together, like bringing the two bows together, right? Like bringing the two Marys together. I'm going to talk to you all about that.
Mm-hmm.
We access, the one is solar, the one is lunar. We access what the prophet for prophetically. We bring the sun and the moon together. We're going to look
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
at the tarot card. We're going to look at the scriptures in the Bible that talk about the power of the sun and the moon coming together.
Mm-hmm.
It is the
Yeah.
power, family, of cold and hot coming together, of darkness
Yes.
and light coming together, of the
Right.
Mm-hmm.
of the devil and God coming together, of
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Lucifer and Jesus coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, of Mary, the divine virgin, and the whore coming together.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Come on, shows.
Look,
Right.
Yes.
our,
Right.
our ancestors were brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
They were brilliant. And that brilliance is yours. I'm talking about y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna pause right here. I'm gonna make a statement that I wrote down. There's power and life in the blood, family, in the menstrual blood. All right, specifically in the menstrual blood of the female.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming from a bottom up approach here
Yeah.
Yes.
because we thoroughly understand, Nasi, the top down.
That's it. Top
Yes.
down.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely, shows. Come on. Mm-hmm.
That's
Descended first. So
Mm-hmm.
there's power and life in the menstrual blood. A dualistic person will never fix his mouth to say something
no.
like that. Let
Yes.
alone think that.
Yes.
Right. Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the power in that menstrual blood from a biological standpoint? What do we say it was?
Stem cells.
Stem cells. Absolutely
Mm-hmm.
correct. The
Mm-hmm.
life and power in the menstrual blood is the stem cells. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yes.
Now, listen, family. The memory in the stem cells is the DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The power, life, and memory in the DNA is melanin. Dark energy, dark matter.
Yes.
That's wholeness, family.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's wholeness. Now I'm going to say it again for those of you all that are taking notes. It's very important that we have a full comprehension of this.
Yes.
The scripture says that life is in the blood. I'm going to lay this out for you all, and it will be in the notes. The scripture says that there is there's life in the blood. We'll get that. Well, let's look at it now. Let's look at it. Say again, I see.
Leviticus 17:11.
Leviticus 17:11. Correct. Correct. For the life of the flesh is in the blood. Now this, Nasi, is bottom up. Bottom up from the flesh.
Yep.
From the flesh. So we're going to follow it up. We never did this before.
Never.
Right. Yes.
We did this before because we apparently weren't concerned with ascension.
Come on, Shows. Come on, Shows.
Yeah. We wasn't conscious.
We wasn't
right. We wasn't ready. We wasn't ready.
We were concerned with preserving and maintaining the old paradigm.
Absolutely.
The old template. Just like Saul. Just like Saul. We would have fought 1,000 days and
yes. Absolutely.
That came along to what? Institute and activate and initiate a new paradigm. Follow
right.
So Leviticus 17:11, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your souls. Come on, y'all. Y'all never read that before.
Never, Shows. Never.
Read it and never understood it. Never.
Never.
For it is the blood
until now.
For blood that make atonement for the soul.
We was dualistic.
We was dualistic.
Yes.
But we're going to break that down, family. We're going to have that broken down for you. So there's power, life in the blood. And we know that this is the menstrual blood, family. We know that it's the menstrual blood. The life in the menstrual blood is the stem cells.
Stem cells.
The life, the power, the memory in the stem cells is the DNA. That's the only way it could, that's the only connection that it has with the divine and wholeness and healing. Family?
Right.
We are seeing the life here.
Yes.
It's in the stem cells, is the DNA, the power, the life, the memory in the DNA is melanin, dark energy, dark matter. Come on now. Come on. That's the science.
Mm-hmm.
That's the science now. So we have to have this particular science in the forefront of our mind. It is simple. Go ahead.
Now, this magnifies Genesis 1 and verse 2. Yes, because this is why darkness had to be inverted.
Yes. Come on now.
Absolutely.
The light became good, and darkness never gave a apparent open definition. But when you look, it's a very profound definition of what they didn't want us to have.
That's correct.
We're going to bring all that out, in our portion. So we on it.
We on it, family. We on it. So,
yes, we are.
so symbolically, you know, this connection, this flow of life, of divine life, from top down and from bottom up, is seen in the vine and the vineyard. All right,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in the vine and the vineyard. All right, so that should
Yes.
be, this is why wine, family, is correlated or corresponds to blood, the blood of the grape.
Mm-hmm.
See, we are the fruit of the vine. We are the fruit
Yes.
of the vine, and all this has to do with a holistic understanding. Now, see, not simply
Yeah.
not simply of gender, but
Right.
Right.
of the divine feminine and divine masculine. All
Yes.
right, of our divinity. So these two spheres, the one which is earthly, which is dualistic, which is separate, and the one which is universal, holistic. And the joining of these two represents a balancing of consciousness. We talked about it again when we talked about the corpus callosum.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it in the beginning when we talked about how the mighty men, the helpers of the war, armed with
Yes.
bows, could use both the right hand and the left hand for hurling stones and casting or shooting arrows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you all with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow along now. The New Testament scriptures feature two Marys or Miriams. Now remember, want you all to understand that the word Miriam actually, which is translated Mary, has a it has the mem sophit at the end, Miriam, the mem sophit, all right, and the open mem in the front.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
this is very important. I'm telling you, our ancestors did this. This was brilliant. This is
Brilliant.
this is brilliant how they did this, and it is all instructed. How is every
Mm-hmm.
word, every letter instructed? What kind of
Mm-hmm.
intelligence do you have?
Yes.
How do
Yes.
you possess
Okay, so
to do this?
yes.
Right. Right.
So the New Testament features two Marys or Miriams, two Marys or Miriams. One family, immaculate, virtuous, virgin, the mother
Mm-hmm.
or the idea of the mother or the maid, and the
Mm-hmm.
other worldly, profligate, prostitute, a whore,
Mm-hmm.
or the strange woman.
Yes. Yes.
These
Mm-hmm.
women are in fact one.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
shows. Yes.
They each represent complementary polarities, powers, skills, faculties within each of us, especially you sisters,
Yes.
that require activation, balance, coordination, and synthesis. The method that I'm going to show you is by no means the only method, but is the one. I can't imagine one that's more fun or more pleasing. All right, and it requires the men, the brothers, to be helpers. See, they told you that the woman was the
Mm-hmm.
helpmeet, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
The inversion
The
now
inversion.
requires
Yes.
inversion the brothers to be helpers, to activate the divine feminine. Are y'all with me?
Come on,
Yeah.
shows.
So we look at the figure of Inanna, of Ishtar, of Astarte, and she is, now see, she's dressed to kill. She,
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
She's dressed. This is this fifth aspect. She's dressed
Yeah.
to destroy, to kill the old paradigm.
Yeah.
All right. She's got all her weaponry, and the foremost weapon that she's presenting is the bow.
Yeah.
The bow, and she is seen treading upon, overstanding the lion. Now, remember, Lionsgate portal just opened and closed, family.
Yes, absolutely, shows.
That's why this teaching is coming forth now. But we have to overstand the teaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to understand it. We have to understand it. The scripture says that in all you're getting, get what?
Understand.
Now, this is the position of power, overstanding, treading on the knowledge.
Yes.
Treading on the knowledge of a particular age. All right? They said that, what is that? It comes in, what is it? June comes in like a lion. And
No,
that's
March.
March comes in like a lion. See,
it goes out like a lamb.
Starts out like a lamb, right? So she's marching off to war. Are you all seeing?
Okay.
This is all gonna make all these symbols. They're gonna all make sense. So she's treading upon the lion. When we look up the word tread, this is going to be the beginning of wisdom, family. The beginning of our understanding. It is H. The word tread in the Old Testament, in the scriptures, according to Strong, is H 1869. It is the word darak. Now look, it's going to contain all of the symbology. It means to tread, to bend, look, to lead, to march. Right?
Yes.
She's dressed to kill. She's dressed for war.
Yeah.
She's marching to war to end the domination and the dominion, I see, of the low frequency field of dominion.
Right.
Of the fourth paradigm.
Yes.
The false mind matrix. It means to tread on, to tread upon. And look, to bend a bow. Do y'all know how you bend a bow?
Yes.
You take it and put your foot on it. And with your hand, bend it back, and then connect the string to the top of the bow. Right?
Right.
You use the foot. See, these are all of our symbols. The foot is the Yoni. The foot is the Pudina, the footstool. Y'all feel what I'm saying? See, we've never understood this. We've never understood this.
No.
The footstool means the portion on earth from the earthly realm of divine power. It means to tread upon, to bend the bow. That's exactly how you bend a bow. And to load the string on it. It means an archer or bow bender. To bend with the foot, a bow. To cause to go, to lead, to march. This is the beginning of our divine power, what they trying to tell us within this symbol. This is what we need to activate. And it is the divine feminine energy.
Means direct.
Huh?
Means to direct to
direct, absolutely. So
Or
direct
organize.
is a primitive root meaning to tread or meaning to walk. This is going to tell us how to walk the path down here. Also, to string a bow by treading on it and bending it. It's talking about an archer, the one that casts the arrow. All right? Bend, draw, guide. All right? Now, the word direct. All right? We're talking about how to direct this divine feminine energy. See, I'm teaching you all the straight path.
Yes.
All right? There are other paths, but I'm teaching you the straight path, which is going to give you all of the basics that you need. Nothing more, nothing. You can be as creative as you want with it.
Yes.
But family, I'm out of here. I have no interest in any other path but the one that directs me straight out of here.
Absolutely, Shells. Likewise.
Direct, the adjective means straight, undeviating, not crooked. Upright, righteous. All right?
Right.
It means to move in a straight line. That's how I want this power to go. Now, see?
That's right. No other way.
This power to go direct to my intent.
Yes.
It means to, so I'm going to show you a plain way that is not ambiguous, that is expressive. It involves expression. Write that down. Because I'm still teaching on the upper and lower respiratory, family. The upper and lower respiratory. The string in the bow connects the upper to the lower, that which is above to below. There's power in that dynamic tension.
Yeah.
And we already said that the connection, we've already articulated the connection. It's in the vine. That's the vine, family. DNA. That's the vine. Your lineage, your connection back to divinity. From the biological, physical standpoint, on into the non-material world, back into androgyny, and back into the upper heavens.
Yes.
Do we got it, family?
Absolutely, Shells.
DNA.
So we're going to have to point the verb, meaning to point or to aim, in a straight line toward a place or an object. What is the desire of your heart? Intent is the first thing that you have to establish. And we've talked about this. And then you govern or regulate your behavior, your actions, your words in what? In accordance with and in alignment with your intent. Emotions.
Where attention goes.
Thoughts.
Right. Attention goes.
And then you're going to be able to divinely direct or address, put an address, and mail that intent.
Come on, Shells.
Right. Look, this is the sigil. It means to write the destination or the intent on the outside of a letter. But our ancestors don't read a bunch of words. They read holistic symbols, family. To supervise and control the making of it. Are you all with me?
Okay.
Yes.
Direction, the act of governing and administer. We said the seat of power was where? The seat of authority was where? To the right, to the left?
Corpus.
Corpus callosum. Where is it at?
Corpus callosum.
In the center.
It's in
In the center.
It's in the middle. It's by achieving non-attachment, neutrality.
Mm-hmm.
Neutral. Mm-hmm.
Our scripture is going to be our key scripture is going to be Exodus 20, because I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to leave the old behind, all of it.
Yes.
Right.
And
Yes.
get to
Get out of the,
and get to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
get out of the rat race.
And thou shalt teach them ordinances, teachers, and laws, Tarot, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, tread, and the work that they must do. Anybody not been getting that?
Mm-hmm.
This is the time, family. Y'all right on time. Right when
Yep.
y'all supposed to. This is what's happening.
Yes.
So what
Yes.
we want to do, we talked about tread, direct, or darak, which is related to direct, meaning to walk in a proper way, a certain way. All right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to do what? Hit your target. Hit your target.
All right.
So that reminded me of this word Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I've studied.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Mhm.
It says it's, and I see we talked about this many times.
Right, right. I got it.
And it's from the root word yara,
Yeah, all right.
meaning to throw, shoot, pass, shoot arrows, to direct, to teach,
Mm-hmm.
instruct. Malkiel, to throw
Yes. Come on, shows.
or rain. Now we
Uh-huh.
got the rainbow,
Uh-huh. Come on, shows.
but it ain't raindrop.
Cool.
I'm shooting arrows. I'm throwing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
I'm shooting divine power.
Yes.
Whenever I want to,
Yes.
at whatever I want to throw it at.
And then the effect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
So these are the laws of family. I'm giving you the basic laws that govern the way that govern the way, that is the direction, how to achieve that direction, and the work that you must do to cause your intent, which is in heaven above, to be brought down to earth below. Simple as that.
Yes. Yes.
But you got to know the law that is attended with it,
Mm-hmm.
or correlative to it. Yara means to flow as water. All right, but look, changing the water into wine.
Mm-hmm.
The wine corresponds to blood. The blood coursing through the vine. Are y'all with me?
Yes, yes.
Eitai.
Yes.
Also, in my meditation on my experience on Saturday, I told you I almost rear-ended a person in front of me, right?
Right, right.
Well, it was actually raining hard.
Correct.
You know? Also, the sun was out.
Right.
So as I meditated on that, I said that these were the four elements in play at once.
Yes, sir. Hey, that was divinely inspired, brother.
Yes.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So this word yara, okay, it's talking about throwing an arrow, all right, to point out as if by aiming the finger, all right.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm gonna put
Mm-hmm.
the finger right on this in terms of,
Mm-hmm.
so it's no way that, this is what our ancestors are saying, that this is not, um, it's not supposed to be subjective.
Yes.
That this knowledge is not supposed to be subjective. It, the laws, you can, they're objective. You can put your finger on them. You don't
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
hit. Now, see, when I shoot an arrow, I want to hit the object and the subject.
Yes.
Absolutely.
My name is.
Because
Yes.
they want.
So it talks about this aspect of casting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cast, that means to throw, to hurl, to shoot, to cast. All right. Now I'm gonna show you. See this broad here? Y'all see this
Mm-hmm.
broad? She's about to cast. This broad here that's standing on the lion, she's about
Yes.
to cast. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
mature now. Let's grow up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Grow up. That is a broad. I'm gonna prove it. That's a broad standing on that line. That's a
Mm-hmm.
Come
compliment.
on, shows.
That's a compliment.
Eitai. Eitai.
Yes.
You remember that song, Cast Me Not, O Gentle Savior?
Correct. Let's look now. Broadcast. Y'all don't know what it means.
Mm.
It means dispersed upon the ground by hand.
Mm-hmm.
Reference to the seed.
Mm.
That means
Wow.
casting seed. It means
Wow.
casting your bread upon the waters.
Wow.
Due time.
Man. Good God.
And in
Wow.
due time, it will return to you. Now see,
I see.
Ecclesiastes,
Mm.
Ecclesiastes,
Yeah.
time and judgment.
Right. Right.
Time
Mm-hmm.
and judgment. Cast your bread upon the water, and in
Yes.
due time, you're going to get a correlative judgment response.
Yes. Yes.
Ecclesiastes
Right.
8,
Sure
5.
enough.
Right.
Right. It's call and
Wow.
response.
Wow.
Call and response.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in this method, we're going to is the female, the sister, the wives, the daughters, the girlfriends that are going to cast the seed. All right?
Yes.
They're the possessors of the seed.
Yes.
They're the possessors of the fruit. Look,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm gonna show y'all where the seed and the fruit is, so it ain't no mistake.
Come on. Come on, shows.
See, that's Yara.
Yes.
Putting the finger right where it is.
Put the
Yes.
finger.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Y'all see all the
Yes.
seeds, all
Yes.
the
Come
seed,
on, shows.
all the fruit,
Yes.
all the juice,
Yeah.
all the
Mm-hmm.
wine, all the blood,
Yes.
all the water,
Mm.
all the oil,
Absolutely,
Mm.
sir.
all the honey.
Come on.
McCoy.
This is real. Yes.
Profound.
Absolutely.
Profound.
Yes. Very profound.
Contains it all.
Yeah.
So this is the straight path teaching on this, family. This is the
Mm-hmm.
straight path. I'm giving you the straight path teaching. All right, on how to direct this energy, on how to direct this energy, so that the sisters don't think that I'm just trying to be provocative by calling
Right.
broads like that. I'm
Right.
going to the
Right.
definition. That's a compliment. You contain the full spectrum of power, the broad
Yes.
spectrum of power.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Wow.
Broad means the breadth, the length, the breadth.
Right. Right.
They said that this term is obsolete.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wow.
We're gonna unobsolete it now. That's why
Yes.
the sisters might be feeling a little bit offended.
Converted.
Now,
Broadway.
absolutely the sense of the shallow reedy lake formed by the expansion of the river over the flat surface. Now remember, we said that the field of reeds.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Let's define it. So the sister, they don't think I'm just trying to insult them by saying something slick.
Ain't heard enough of that.
The doors of the sky are open. That's the broad windows of heaven.
Yes.
The doors of the sky are open. The doors of the firmament are thrown open, cast open.
Cast.
At dawn for Horus of the gods. He goes up to the fields of reeds. He bathes in the field of reeds. Bring ye, that's the storehouse, family. The windows of heaven.
Yes.
Brothers,
Yes.
we have to be the helpers.
Yes.
Bringing all the tithes into the storehouse. That there be what? Meat in my house.
Gang.
And prove me now herewith, said the Lord of hosts, if I will not throw open the womb, the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing that you shall not be there shall not be room enough to receive it.
Cup runneth over.
Come on, man.
Right.
Yes.
Follow me now. Follow me, sisters. The Old Testament story of Moses, the parting of the Red Sea, or properly the Reed Sea, with the rod of God corresponds to the Egyptian ideas about the field of reeds or the jed pillar. That is that middle portion. That's the string in the bow. That's that line, that vine, the string, the plummet line.
Yes.
Middle portion, the corpus callosum, the faculty that allows me to shoot with the right hand or the left hand.
Yes. Yes. The balance.
As such, the story of the parting of the Reed Sea is easily interpreted as an allegory for the opening of the field or the dimension of the blessed. That's found in your rods.
Yeah.
Come on now. We got to grow up in order to get this knowledge. Ain't nobody insulting you all. Ain't nobody demeaning you all. I'm exalting you.
Gang.
Oh, yeah.
Gang shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
To the high position. Look, when you talk about Mary Magdalene, all right? Now, who was she?
Right.
The whore, correct?
Right.
Man, that's a position of honor. That's a position of honor right alongside the virgin. I'm going to prove it to you all. Because y'all think I'm trying to play the dozen on somebody's mama.
Come on, sis.
Magdalena, Magdalene. That was her title, Mary Magdalene. Follow me, family. Listen.
Strong's G 3084. Magdalene. Magdalene.
All right. And it says it means a tower. It means
McDonald.
Let's go back to Genesis, where they were trying to erect the tower. Now, see?
That's right.
Wow.
The languages were confused. It's from G. That's G3094. For those of you that are taking notes, it's a derivative of G3093. G3094, a derivative of G3093, and that's this word.
Strong's G 3083. Magadan.
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 And it says
lexicon, second entry. Magdala.
Magdala. Now that's the Aramaic. That's the Hebrew.
Oh.
Let's go back.
I would have never looked that up.
Migdal, which means power or flowers. All right? The pulpit. Don't get me talking about what the pulpit is. The pulpit. It's an elevated stage, a raised bed. And look, it's from the word gadal. Tell me gadal means something negative.
Right.
No.
No.
Greatness, growth, development.
Magnify.
Right.
Magnify.
I'm not trying to play the dozens. I'm straightening this thing out. I'm straightening the inversion out.
Yeah, you doing it.
These are two aspects that's in us all, and especially in the feminine. The virgin, the immaculate virgin, and the worldly whore. All right?
Yeah.
Continue on. Broad means the breadth, the full spectrum, Nasik, of energy.
Yes.
Full spectrum.
Yes.
Broad-minded.
From the top of the head, the crown chakra, to the sole of the feet. The slang sense of woman is 1911, perhaps suggested of broad hips, but it also might trace to the American English a broad one or a broad week. Listen, sisters, a word for a woman, often a slave, separated from her husband, separated from the male feminine energy. Is that not not the sisters' history? Is that not an aspect of our history?
Yes.
That we are living out today in profundity. Brother, can't get with the sisters.
Yeah.
Earliest use of the slang word suggests immorality, coarse, low-class women. Very good. Very good. Because that's my ancestors. That's my ancestors involved. They connected it. They say, Eitai, this is the whore. This is the whore. But it doesn't have anything to do with negativity. All right?
That suggests.
So the woman, the feminine, in this method, Nasik, is going to be the broadcaster. All right? The broadcaster. She will actually express intent as the sexual energy is being raised, is being excited, as the brothers, as the helpers in the war, right? As the helpmate excites the waters, troubles the waters. Are you all with me?
Yeah.
I'm telling you how the direct method of doing this. This is the straight path.
Mm-hmm.
This is the straight path.
Use the imagination.
All right. So as we close, now Nasi is going to come back tomorrow, Nasi, and
Yes, sir.
and give a critical portion in this. Now, see, y'all, this is coordination. This is coordination
Mm-hmm.
between the right hand and the left hand.
Yes.
All right?
Right.
The right
Mm-hmm.
pillar and the left pillar.
Yes, yes.
And
Mm-hmm. Come on, shows.
once he does this, I'll come back and I can better instruct you on the step by step. But many of you already know. You've already looked into this, but I'm going to put my finger right on it. All right?
Right on. Right on.
Mm-hmm. Right. Come on, shows. Yes.
Unintended.
Unintended. Absolutely.
Right. Right.
So all of these techniques, family, just like reflexology, just like massage therapy, all of
Mm-hmm.
that. This is from a bottoms up perspective, but it is
Yes.
just as powerful, just as effective. All right,
Mm-hmm.
doing this because we are physical, are we not?
Absolutely,
Yes,
shows.
We are material.
Mm-hmm.
So those things involve those techniques involve the manipulation of energy and energy centers with the hand, right?
Yes. Yes.
The yud, the yud. You remember we talked about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yud, the hand. All right,
Correct.
absolutely. Familiarize yourself. Hey, brothers, become an expert.
Yes.
Become an expert.
Absolutely, shows.
Become
No
an expert.
doubt.
Become the best helper and the best
Mm-hmm.
helper that you can
Mm-hmm.
become.
Yes.
But uh, it's going to involve a you being separated from the old paradigm,
Right.
yes.
how you interacted with your feminine half.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it involves the half and this idea of achieving neutrality.
Yes.
Both the male and female participants is going
Yes.
to be. This is how you're going to access the power.
Absolutely.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we see the Shefatal. All right, the representation of the two hands, the
Mm-hmm.
priestly blessing, the
Mm-hmm.
blessing. All right, Shifa or Shefa often is translated as abundance, but the word also means emanate or to flow. To emanate or to flow, especially in Kabbalah. Tall means dew. So, brothers, just I'm gonna put my finger right on it. What you're trying
Absolutely.
to do is cause the wine to flow, the waters to flow, the honey,
Mm-hmm.
the milk to flow,
Yes.
the land flowing with milk and honey.
Milk and honey. Absolutely.
You all with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I ain't scared, shows.
Huh?
I ain't scared.
Nobody on this line better be scared.
Uh,
But the key is going to be family, both people reaching this position of neutrality. Let me
Yes.
yeah.
close on this point. All right. So everybody knows what it is I'm talking about. You're using the hand, which is the sheen, which is the yud, all right,
Mm-hmm.
to to, I see, to allow that light to shine, to ignite that divine ember, that gift that we came here with. So when we were singing, when y'all was in the church singing, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine," y'all was being very pornographic.
Yeah.
Come on, Shoes. Right.
So what is Kareza? Now remember, family, this is all connected.
Yes.
To this term grace in the Old and the New Testament. All right? Finding grace in there. This is what we began. And the word grace in the New Testament was charis, right? In the Old Testament, it was the word Cain. Cain, right? Where we get Cana from. Y'all see how the ancestors connected this up?
Yes.
I'm just showing y'all now. They said put your finger right on it when you teach.
Yeah.
Come on, Shoes.
What is Kareza? Kareza is not regular sex, but without the orgasm. All right? Now they say without the orgasm, we're not worried about that. This is, we don't care. All right? Although Kareza calls for intercourse, and not necessarily, I'm going to show you all the technique. It wouldn't look anything like the intercourse Masters and Johnson observed in the lab.
Right.
With its restricted breathing. Now remember, again, this is connecting what? The upper respiratory organs and the upper respiratory system with the lower. Combine, the complementary polarity, combining them, and extreme muscle tension. Actually the opposite of that. Stockham contrasted the ordinary, hasty, spasmodic method of cohabitation with Kareza. We're not on that. Being in a hurry. All right. Somebody, I can't remember, the Pointer Sisters had the song that talked about this that was called "Slow Hand."
Yes.
I want a lover with a slow hand. Are all around us with this knowledge, but we can't see them. The Pointer Sisters pointed right to it. And they expressed their desire for a lover that wouldn't be in a rush. That would use what? Shephertal, the slow hand method.
Slow hand.
Are you all with me?
Come on, Shows.
But in order to slow up, you have to take a neutral position.
Yes.
Energetically.
Yes.
Yeah.
During a lengthy period of perfect control, the whole being of each is merged into the other, and in an exquisite exaltation experience. This may be accompanied by a quiet motion, entirely under subordination of will or intent or purpose. So that the thrill of passion for either may not go beyond a pleasurable exchange. Our emphasis is on affection, and we stay well away from the edge of the orgasm. Now, that is a particular skill. All right.
Yes.
That
absolutely.
is a particular learned strategy. All right. If we sense ourselves slipping into performance mode, while making love, we pull ourselves back into relaxation with deeper, longer breaths, utilizing what? The upper respiratory system. And I'm going to show you all how to coordinate both. This relaxes our abdominal breathing. Abdominal breathing, family, is the unconscious breathing. What do they call it? It's automatic. Abdominal breathing is automatic. It's controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. And you can also control it by the parasympathetic. Increase muscular tension to urge to restrict breathing that coincide with the buildup to an orgasm. We trying to stay away from that, at least initially. In Tantra, all right, you are to remain unattached even while using sex as a means towards samdhi or samadhi. You have to gain unattached, you have to remain unattached to sex. We were attached to it, family, under the old
yes we were. Yes, we were.
The influence of the old paradigm. Absolutely neutral, absolutely like an observer, a witness, just like a scientist working in his lab.
Yes.
Look now, and then you will be able to play both roles. You'll be able to play both roles, the role of the virgin and the role of the whore.
Yes.
I'm going to end right there. The next portion, we're going to get into the details of this and bring it into the prophetic timeline and give a step-by-step instruction, all right, of the technique, all right? And what this is doing, just to make it plain, is from a calm or neutral position. This is how the sister becomes the broadcaster. The brother is also helping. We are unattached. Once we become skilled at this, we are unattached from the technique. And I will know my wife, my counterpart, and she will know me. All right? So we're not focused on the ABC, step 1, step 2. The only thing that we are focused on is purpose and intent.
Yes.
And raising that will, purpose and intent, that divine will, purpose and intent, from the top down, from the physical realm up into the heavens. So that my will, I'll plant that seed for those seeds in heaven, and they will grow on earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the sister is acting as the broadcaster.
Yes.
Broadcaster, raising that energy. The level, her level of sexual pleasure and ecstasy, focusing only on the intent, not the
casting the seeds.
And
casting the seeds.
And casting those seeds in the heavenlies. Does it make sense?
Absolutely, sure.
Does it sound like something that is pleasurable and fun to do?
No doubt.
That everybody will work and do their best at perfecting.
No question.
That's holistic.
This is how you create. This is how you create, not reproductively, but you create your intent. You cast your intent. You mold it, you form it, and you create, family, your new heavens and new earth. Are you all?
Yes. Come on. Absolutely, shows.
All right. So we're going to end right there and ask if there's any questions or comments.